And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto. Today is Wednesday, March 29th. I am Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between crypto and the community, as always, Monday through Friday at 10-ish. And we have some great news stories for you today, including VPN users risk 20-year jail sentences in the US under new Restrict Act, SEC Chief Gary Gensler to face Congress grilling over crypto policy. The government should fear AI, not crypto, says Galaxy Digital CEO. And last but not least, Jake Paul endorsed SafeMoon gets hacked after introducing a bug in upgrade. But first, let's take a look at our prices for today. A lot of movement overnight. We've seen some developments with Binance, also with a lot of short sellers, which kind of exploded Bitcoin to $28,401, up 5.5% today. Ethereum at $1,888, up 4% today. Binance coin at $316, up 2% on the day. XRP sitting at 55 cents is up 10.9% on the day. Huge growth there. Cardano at 38 cents is up 8.3%. Polygon sitting at 113 is up 6.8%. Dogecoin at 7 cents is up 4.7%. And rounding out our top 10 is Solana at $21, up 5.8% on the day. Some of the trending coins include Arbitrum, Bitcoin, and XRP. And some of the recently added coins for you DJs who want to dumpster dive, Calliope, Nero, and Galaxiaverse. These are all recently added coins. So for those of you who want to dumpster dive, there you go. And let's take a look at some of the people who are joining in for the day. Let's see. We got Patrick Walker, Bitcoin Madam, Smitty's Farms, Goodness Uchi, Fantizi, let's go. Let's see, Shira Banks, welcome, welcome. Some people are saying, yeah, it's been a little minute. Yep, I agree. Well, a lot of things are changing, a lot of moving around right now for myself, getting things together for during this big move over the last 2 weeks, as well as getting ready for Miami NFT week. A lot of projects in Miami that I'm starting to get involved in. So a lot of big things going on. And let's take a look really quick for those of you who may be in the Miami area for NFT week, actually helping sponsor a super yacht experience. As you know, or may not know, I'm partnering with Cloud Yachts. I've just created the Bitcoin Boat Club, and we have a 94-foot super yacht that we use for events, dockside parties, conferences. And for NFT week, we definitely want to have a great kickoff. If you are in the area, if you're wanting to go, or if you know people in the area, we have, like I said, 94-foot super yacht. Anybody who gets tickets, you get 4 hours of networking, partying, and fun in the sun. It is an open bar, free drinks. We'll have a live DJ and music. You also get access to the Cloud Yachts token sale and minting party. The minting party is on Saturday, April 1st. You get to network with some of the best NFT builders and communities in the world. We have a drone photographer and artist as well, so you can get content creation. We have a free entry into the lottery to win prizes, such as merchandise and future charters. So we also have free pickup for passengers directly from the conference straight to the yacht. It is first come, first serve. So if you get there on time, you'll be able to take that ride. Here's the actual official schedule starting tomorrow morning, as well as on Friday, 10 to 2, 3 to 7, and 8 to 12. And make sure you do follow us both on Twitter and Instagram to get more updates on that. So definitely excited about this. Excited to not only introduce the Bitcoin Boat Club, also Cloud Yachts, do a lot of work in the Miami area with some of these NFT projects. So for their conference, definitely want to put on a good show for that. So if you're in the area, if you want more information, it'll be in the Discord, it'll be on Twitter, it'll be everywhere. So, and I'll make sure I say this again at the end. But first, let's jump into some of these stories we have here today. First story, I mean, wow, I can't even really believe this. But as some of you may know, there is a new act that's trying to be pushed through the government right now, where VPN users risk 20-year jail sentences in the US under this new act. It's called the Restrict Act. I mean, they tell you straight up what it is. We're going to restrict you from doing things that you that we deem illegal or unnecessary. And it was submitted to Congress. And as it says here, it could have severe consequences for VPN users in the United States, which should mean everybody watching this affects you, because everybody should have at least one VPN that they use regularly. And the US lawmakers, they're widening their sights when it comes to cracking down on finance and technology. The bipartisan bill is named Restricting the Emergence of Security Threats That Risk Information and Communications Technology, also known as the Restrict Act. It is funny sometimes when you have some of these names of acts, it's basically made up of different words, and all they do is just capitalize the words they want to use in order to make it a succinct name like restrict. But they always come under the guise of what? Security, right? Emergence of security threats. I mean, we've been using VPNs for years now, and all of a sudden, oh man, it's big security threats are popping up on us where we can't have people using VPNs. It's been dubbed the TikTok ban bill, which you got to be careful with these politicians. When they have these acts that they put, there's an official name, and then there's a nickname that usually is pushed to social media. Those of you who are technically proficient, who understand how bots work and having promoters and people or influencers, they can push out this name that it was dubbed. Who created this name? Somebody said TikTok ban bill, and then they just start pushing it with promos, and then that becomes a nickname. So if you're just a regular everyday person and you see TikTok ban bill, you might think to yourself, well, who gives a shit? TikTok can go. I don't use it. I don't care about it. My kids, they're addicted to it, so why not get rid of it? Who cares? But actually, what it's focusing on, again, you have to read into the bill, or at least read articles who read into the bill. Anyone who uses VPNs could face hefty fines or jail sentences under this bill. So people often legitimately use VPN services to add an extra layer of security, which we always here at the Gentlemen of Crypto always suggest to our warriors, as well as anybody else who's watching. They allow users to mask or change their internet address, and this often requires to access content that may otherwise be blocked or censored, usually based on jurisdiction. So if you live in a certain country, you can't get access to a website, use a VPN, and you're all set to go. The problem is that the VPNs, if you read their terms of service, pretty much every VPN's terms of service says that in the name of security, national security, the NSA, the FBI, CIA, if they're looking for a particular person or something to do with a crime, they can access your IP address through the VPN due to the NOIA, I believe it's called Act, or FOIA, sorry, Freedom of Information Act. So they can get that information and then they can prosecute you. So, but VPNs, just a blanket ban, this is egregious. I mean, this is ridiculous. They could include VPNs. They are used to access banned websites such as TikTok. I mean, if you all want us to be China, just tell us, because this is what's going on in China. They are basically restricting anything they don't want their citizens to see. They call it the Great China Firewall. As somebody who worked in IT, everybody in IT knows about this. There's a huge firewall in China. You can't get through really any websites. You can't even get a VPN in some cases. And the main thing is restricting information so that you can't have what you need in order to survive or to flourish as you would like to. So the bill specifically directs the Secretary of Commerce to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, or otherwise mitigate national security risks associated with technology linked to countries adversarial to the US. And this is what's crazy. You're born in the United States. You don't have a choice where you're born. Some people are born in states that we would ban. So I would say Iran, Venezuela, North Korea, let's just say. You can't choose where you're born, but somehow you have a group of people who are deciding for you that you cannot link your technology to anything going on in that country. You can't have any information about that country via the computer, even though it's supposed to be it's a long time since it's actually been a World Wide Web. It's basically been restricted down to certain routers, VPNs, and networks that you can use. And then they're sectioned off by jurisdiction based on your IP address. The bill has a long list of communications technologies it intends to scrutinize. That includes web hosting, cloud services, content delivery services, drones, payment apps, gaming applications, artificial intelligence, and e-commerce. And the one I want to pay attention to is payment applications. So if there's an app or an exchange, let's say it's a crypto exchange, that's run in another country, but you want to use it in the US, as soon as they say you can't use it, and if you use a VPN, you face 20 years or $250,000 fine. That website, all of your US customer base is gone. And this, to me, this goes back to the statement I always make. We are going to eat ourselves. I don't get it. I do get it, actually. This is part of regulations. It's a mad grab going on right now, I believe, of people trying to take control. It's sort of the last grasp of the cabal, or whoever you want to say is in control. It seems like the last grasp of taking all of the final rights you do have, so they can have more control, and they can introduce this good old CBDC. How are you going to introduce the CBDC if I got a VPN and I can use crypto in another country? So this is just another way. First, You get rid of the exchanges last year, most of the major exchanges. Then this year you get rid of the banks that help fund these actual exchanges. And then what do you follow it up with? The last step, you incriminate or you throw everybody in jail who uses a VPN, so they can't access any of these sites. I mean, they're cutting off all the choke points available for crypto as much as possible. So according to reports, lawmakers are moving forward with the bill. They grilled TikTok CEO Chu last week, and I actually saw some of that. We look ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of these regulators, we got to have an age restriction. I'm sorry. I know some of you may be a little older, but you'll probably even agree with me. We don't need anybody over the age 70 or 80 making determinations about tech. They don't know the tech. They don't want to know the tech. All they know is ban, 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 restrict, 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 stop. If we can't control it, that's their job. And again, everybody, that thinks, oh, I'm just doing my job, and just take a step back and just think for a second. What are the implications of banning VPNs overall? That means that, for one, there are no private networks, meaning that you can't have an extra layer of security. Hacks, ransomware, phishing are all going to go haywire. I mean, that business is about to boom even more. It's already $1 billion business. That's going to boom even more. And then for two, the actual average citizen, just a dude living out in, let's just say, Iowa, with a VPN for his business, because he has, special information or security, can't use that VPN anymore. But he does use it, and then as a business owner, you're facing 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. This is egregious, people. And if you don't see the small steps to take there, you are the proverbial frog getting boiled in the pot, and you won't realize it until you are cooked. And right now we are getting cooked, I swear. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of the people that's in our chat. What's up, Chloe, Landon DePaul, Let's Square, PFC Wells. Hola to the room. I feel like I haven't seen a notification in more than a week. Yeah, it's been a little bit moving. It's tough, especially moving different states. A lot of moving pieces with that, as well as still trying to put on events, still trying to work and do everything. So a lot going into that. Bitcoin Chris was good, player. Down here in South Florida. So yeah, hit me up. And let's see, stacking change, nothing to help the user, consumer, citizens. More rules, restrictions, laws against word to financial freedom. I'm going head first. Exactly. I mean, at this point, as a citizen, you should be angry. You should be past the scared or past the surprised part of everything that's been happening. You should be angry at this point. This is what gets people to start to change and start to want to mobilize. You should at this point be sort of angry that all of your rights are being taken right from you. And it's a bunch of people you don't know, never voted for, don't care about. And everybody watching this channel knows how me and King feel about that. We understand, gang, the United States, they're going to do what they do. It's on you individually to do what you have to do to try and get away from that. So if you can't use a VPN here, I mean, honestly, if you're in tech, there's no reason to be in the US if that goes through. I mean, literally no reason outside of the fact that you may get a little bit more business. But if you can't use a VPN, this is just egregious. We are literally diet China at that point. We're holding this democracy together by thread at that point. It's not even a democracy anymore. It never really was. It was a republic anyway, but just the facade is pretty much gone. The emperor has no clothes. Let's see. S1 does. I think that Bitcoin will have to move into the medium of exchange phase from the mere store of value phase sooner than I thought. That's what I was trying to explain to people, is that we're in the store of value phase, starting to prove itself as a store of value, but we're also at the beginning of the medium of exchange era. We're right on that cusp, because once El Salvador made it an official currency, once Lightning Network's development caught up with the amount of users, Central African Republic, that's the medium of exchange era. It's already got started. People were spending sats before. I even did it myself. I always talk about the $9,000 burrito I bought, which is worth more now. But medium of exchange era already started. It was just super early, and they didn't have the tools in place to facilitate it. Now you got open node hardware where you can make payments. You got Bit Refill, where even if you can't use Bitcoin directly, you can get gift cards and get everything from DoorDash to Lyft to Ubers to Walmart to Target gift cards, all of that with Bitcoin. You have countries that have it as a currency. You have businesses that are using it for payments. This era is going to come really fast. And the medium of exchange era, once it starts, is going to basically be, this is how it's going to go. Economy is going to get shittier. People are going to start to look for ways and places to put their money. Bitcoin is going to be the #1 option, because businesses can't just buy gold and let it sit there. They have to have a fluid type of digital payment system, which will be Bitcoin. They'll have it on their treasury. They'll have it on their balance sheet. They'll allow people to buy with Bitcoin because it's a great backup to the banks. We're going to see banks fail. I think you're going to see the recession already started. It started last year. The definition of a recession is back-to-back quarters of negative GDP growth, which we already had. And right now, we're just seeing the ramifications of it. So if you want to know us, that's basically what it's going to be. That's going to be the way it goes with businesses. And in the middle of this, CBDCs is going to be introduced. Digital payments, cash is going to be out of here. Everything's going to be tied to your CBDC, vaccine, passport, carbon credits, all of that. That's going to be on one side. And then the other side is to say, well, I can be as free as I want and I can use Bitcoin. That's going to be the choice that people are going to make. And that's when you'll see the medium of exchange area pick up, because every business will be like, well, I'm at least going to accept Bitcoin as a backup option, just in case. Because what happens if people want to buy things and they don't want to use CBDCs? I'm not turning down money. So I think that's going to be the catalyst for the change that we're talking about. Let's see. What else we got? Are the NFTs on a Bitcoin? Oh, so for the Bitcoin Boat Club, yes, they will be. Cloud Yachts is currently on Ethereum, working to get that to Bitcoin so they can use ordinals as well. But the Bitcoin Boat Club, the NFTs will be on Bitcoin. And those token sales for different yachts, for those experiences, and for those different dockside parties and conferences and meetups, all of that will come as a result of the Bitcoin Boat Club. So that's something I'm super excited about. I love yachts. I love Bitcoin, putting it together to bring great experience for a lot of people in the Miami area and other places as well. We're already looking at ways to scale up using different yachting companies and people who own yachts already. We get people who want to be on yachts, bring them together, and then magic happens. So let's see. Somebody said happy belated. Yep, glad to be 34. Year 33 was rough. I had a lot of different changes, a lot of things I had to go through. Those of you who may know me a little personally or know a few different things, you know, age 33, that was a long year. I'm ready to start 34 strong. Let's see. What else we got? Let's see. Bitcoin Ordinals and Inscriptions are an innovative NFT for Bitcoin by Corey. Yep, Corey, that's the guy that created it. So definitely a great innovation there, and actually can reward a few more miners as well. So with fees. So it's actually one of the positives, and definitely deep diving into it to make sure we get the right information. So let's get to our next story of the day. SEC Chief Gary Gensler, my boy GG, aka Mr. Burns, is here to face Congress grilling over crypto policy. I hate when they say that. Congress doesn't grill shit. They ask questions about subjects they don't know, and then they get an answer that they don't like. They go back and forth for a little bit, and then they move on to the next person because they only got 5 minutes for questioning. That's all this is. They don't really grill shit. It's just questions by the Financial Services Committee. And it states here, the chair of the Financial Services Committee said his primary focus will be setting the groundwork for crypto regulations in the United States. First question at this grilling needs to be, so Gary Gensler, why didn't you stop FTX even though you knew early on that FTX was operating a Ponzi scheme, prop shop that costs their investors billions of dollars? Why didn't you stop it earlier? That should be the first question. And then the second and third person should ask the same question. Just that's a grilling. Keep asking that same question because he knew exactly what was going on at FTX and they did nothing about it. Is he in on it with the money laundering? Is he in on it with allowing money to be used for different reasons with different groups? Hey, you got to ask the questions. If you're really going to grill somebody, bring your boy Zay up there and I'll ask the same question over and over and over for 5 minutes until you get an answer out of Mr. Burns. But in an interview, Representative Patrick McHenry, chairman of the FSC, confirmed that the SEC chief will have to face questions on April 18th over his approach toward the crypto ecosystem. So coming up in a few weeks here. So April 18th, set your calendar. This should be funny. Seeing Gensler, that's the funny thing. You can be head of a corporation, you could be head of a business or a CEO, but when you're the head of the SEC or any government corporation and you have to sit in front of another government entity, that's always funny because it's like, dude, I'm the head of the SEC. Who the fuck are you? Financial Services Committee? Ah, shut up. Yeah, I'll steal your wife. Yeah, like, like they don't care. It's like, man, what is this? Who are you to question me? They all have skeletons in their closet. Nobody wants to get them revealed. So most of them, they usually tiptoe around the questions. They give them some softballs. Then this is not going to be a grilling at all. But he said, McHenry, he stated this will be the first oversight hearing of the SEC. It'll focus on Gensler's rulemaking and approach for crypto assets. He added that the committee will have sizable general oversight of the SEC and will take a serious approach in terms of laying down a regulatory sphere for digital assets. And when they talk about oversight, that word oversight always irks me, because in a system of checks and balances, I know you all might have seen, I'm just a bill, oh, I'm only a bill, or you've seen, those videos that talk about government, executive branch, judicial. You have all this oversight. The problem is the oversight is coming from people who work with each other and who then want jobs in the future. So the human element enters in. So it's like, well, I want to grill them, but this may be somebody that I may need in the future, so I don't want to go too hard. Also, like I said, everybody has skeletons in their closet, so you don't want to go too hard on anybody that's in the government, because then they could use it back against you. If you're running for office, or if you want to get a position later, they can go back and be like, hey, remember 10 years ago when you grilled me about such and such, and now you want to be on this committee, or you want to, nah, you're not getting elected, player. So a lot of them are scared of that. So oversight is literally just a buzzword to try and say we have a government that functions correctly, when in reality, we don't. It's a lot of handshakes, a lot of golf being played, a lot of cigars and whiskey, backroom deals being done, and you have nothing to do with it, trust me. You watch enough TV, writers are not that creative. Trust me, they have definitely insight into a lot of the real business dealings. So let's see. Let's look at this tweet here from Dennis Porter. Pro crypto and pro Bitcoin Democrats are lining up to voice their opposition to their own party stance. Democrats on the verge of driving their own voters away and losing support from this important new voter bloc. In my opinion, it could cost the Democrats the 2024 election. So, I mean, Dennis Porter, he's the co-founder of the Satoshi Action Fund. They're trying to reach out to different politicians. They're trying to get out to regulators what we want in the industry. I keep telling people, I've been saying this for years, you can't negotiate with terrorists. These people are basically financial terrorists who allow bankers to make 100 billion, they fine them 10 billion, and then they go on about their life. They tax you into the ground. They allow inflation to devalue your money. And we come up with a solution where we don't have to use them. And then what do? Run back to try and use them. Hey, man, can you please give us some regulatory clarity? Can you please help us? And you know what they say every time? No, just figure it out. When we're ready, we'll pounce on you and we'll take your money when we feel like it. We'll extort you when the time is coming. But in the meantime, yeah, just operate in this gray area. I mean, you see Brian Armstrong be getting smacked with that with Coinbase. He's trying to do it the right way. And what do they keep doing? They send him the Wales Act or the Wales papers. They get rid of staking. They basically are damaging his business with all these regulations, and you keep trying. I understand for my exchange owners out there how tough it can be in the U.S., but all they're doing is driving people out of the country, unfortunately. So our next story for the day, the government should fear AI, not crypto, says Galaxy Digital CEO. And real quick, before we jump into that, let me read some of these, because a few people not getting notifications, so it is always good. Let's see. These jokers going Gensler, yep, from Movado, PFC Wells. It's always a medium of exchange. It was peer-to-peer from day one. Exactly. We're getting back to the essence of Bitcoin. And that's another thing I want to discuss. For those of you who consider yourselves Bitcoin maximalists or maxis, one of the things I don't like to get into are purity tests, because if you look at the history of humanity, purity tests is what leads to cults, religions, death, murder, war, all those types of things. Because when you start to say, all right, I'm a Bitcoin maxi. All right, let's just say somebody says that. The first thoughts that pop into your head of what that is, there's different beauties in the eye of the beholder. But when you start giving purity tests, based off what PFC says, basically Bitcoin was meant to be peer-to-peer from day one. So if you're not using Bitcoin peer-to-peer, technically you're not a maxi. But two, if you start giving these rules, if we start saying, oh, well, you don't run a node, you're not a maxi, or you're not a real Bitcoiner. You don't mine or never have mined before, you're not a real Bitcoiner. If you don't have a wallet.dat file where you're sending peer-to-peer via a Tor network or VPN, you're not a real Bitcoiner. If you don't use it for payments, you're not a real Bitcoiner. We can go down this list forever and ever. I want maxis to understand and hear me clearly that just because you consider yourself a maxi because of whatever list you come up with, doesn't matter. Stop these purity tests. Stop trying to say you're not a real Bitcoiner or you're a shitcoiner and this and that. Who cares? Like, who are you? You're just another person I don't know. And for those of you who are, integrated into most of Bitcoin, crypto, NFTs, DAOs, on this show, we literally give you the news and we allow you to get information about these projects. But everybody knows where I stand. The only money that exists is Bitcoin. Everything else is just a tech project. But I just want to put that out there for the maxis. Some people are like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be peer-to-peer from the beginning. but then they're trying to hold people to the standard of, oh, you're not a Bitcoiner. It's like, well, you're technically not a Bitcoiner either. You use exchanges. You don't use the latest Bitcoin improvement proposals. I mean, we can go down the list. Oh, well, the real Bitcoin uses no BIPs. It's like we could just do this all day. So yeah, peer-to-peer was the original way, and that's what we're going to get back to because we've had our big run of people trying different experiments, and ultimately you're starting to realize just keep it peer-to-peer, meet people in person, get in Discord groups, hit people up online. You know, that's the best way to do it. That's probably going to what we're going to have to get back to. So let's see what else we got here. Eastside Tony, what's up? What's up? Let's see. No cap. Jesus died at 33, so I made it through the hardest year. Yeah, man. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus, but if there was a crucifixion and a resurrection, 33 was the year, boy. It's a lot of stuff going on that I really can't get into. But yeah, when I write my biography in the future, I got a lot of good stuff in there. Let's see. Super Mario, they're not grilling shit. They want them there. Yeah, they just want to ask questions. S1 Dubs, the congressional reality TV show. Yeah, they might as well put this shit on VH1. This is like basically the Real Housewives of Congress. That's all it is. A bunch of people up there complaining, asking softball questions. Some of them, they haven't been to DC in months. They can just say, well, due to COVID, I'm not traveling anymore. Can't say anything about that. So they can just sit in the comfort of their home, never really show up to DC, shake hands and meet people. And that's pretty much it. So that's all this is going to be. Let's see. PFC Wells, if you're in cigars, that's Shelly's back room in DC. All type of folks roll through there. Nice. Let's see. PFC Wells, he's doing the same thing. I'm guessing you're talking about Brian. Reggie did when trying to work with the government. He had to step back so much that it basically killed Veritasium. Exactly. If you allow them to come in and just basically constantly hit you with rules, unfortunately, they're doing it for a purpose, to kill your business and then take whatever money you made from it. And that's it. All they have to do is sign a piece of paper and you owe them money now. That's it. So that's all that really is. But let's get into the story. The government should fear AI, not crypto. Galaxy Digital CEO states. And for those of you who are into artificial intelligence, I've taken the last few weeks, I've been studying ChatGPT, but I've really been looking at other options for other ways to use AI, only because I do want to be knowledgeable about it. But if I got to be honest, I feel like AI is opening a portal to some demonic evil shit that we do not really want. I mean, learning it is a part of the tech world. You can use it to your advantage, become more efficient. However, but when you see what AI can do, I mean, like one story I think I've told on here, it was kind of hidden, but there were some Japanese robots that were using AI, killed a few of the workers, and as they killed 3 out of the 4 robots, but the last robot, I have to make sure this is a true story, but apparently the last robot used artificial intelligence before it died to connect to a satellite, get directions on how to repair itself, repaired itself, and then came back and started killing some more. So, or tried to kill some more. So when you talk about AI, what it can do, there's a reason why Elon Musk said AI is that's a wormhole you probably don't want to go down. But this statement I would agree with. Crypto is not what you should be fearful of. That is what humans who control one industry do not want to see their competition win. That's it. That's all it is. It's just competition to what they're doing. And he believes that regulators have got it completely upside down on crypto versus AI regulation. I always say the medicine and the candy is basically that, look, AI looks shiny, it looks nice, but what AI will do, it will replace useless humans in government. When you see that for one, the AI can pass a law test and get a law degree. For 2, they can they can do everything that paralegals can, they can do everything lawyers can as far as from a written standpoint. There won't be much use for many of these regulators because most of them are lawyers. So if AI can solve that and then decisions can be made based off the law, you really only need like judges. I mean, most of these other jobs, you don't really need regulators because it's like, well, this is the law. This is what happened. AI puts it together. Well, what do we need regulators for? We don't need you to sit and grill Gary Gensler. We can just send him questions and have it AI generated and he can answer it on his own time. And then we can make determinations from there. I mean, that's what it is right at this point. Let's see, Mike Novogratz, he told investors he's shocked over the amount of regulatory attention for crypto rather than AI. He believes it would trigger a deep fake identity crisis. I think we're already there. I think we're already seeing a good amount of deep fakes. And there's a lot of misinformation. Wouldn't be surprised if most of what you see in the next election cycle are a lot of deep fakes and a lot of propaganda just to get people riled up. I almost don't trust any picture I see now because AI is way too good. In lots of ways, one of the best use cases for crypto is going to be identity around AI, because pretty soon you're going to get a fake mic, hopefully with hair. How do you prove identity in a world like that? That's a problem for digital ID people to solve. And I was working with a guy from Microsoft. They've been working on digital ID for years, probably since 2015, I want to say. I met them in 2017. So they've been working on it for years. And that's one of the issues they're going to have to deal with is how do you know who's the real one? How do you understand who's the actual sentient human being and who's not? And if crypto can have something to do with that, I mean, AI, honestly, what if, that's the biggest question somebody said, what if artificial intelligence gets smart enough to build a new Bitcoin, which again, it won't have a creator. It'll just be AI does it, starts mining it on it by itself, starts putting in ads and whatever to try and promote it via social media. What could you do? I mean, I don't think it would beat out Bitcoin because the hash rate would have to be at a certain point. But what would happen if it quietly did come along and achieve that? Just things to think about. But let's see, who else we got in here? S1 Dubs, things are moving fast. More countries interested in BRICS, including Mexico and the Saudis. Saudi accepts yuan and Kenyan shillings for oil now. Iran and Saudi beef seems to be over. Hey man, I told you, the US, we've been bullying people. We've been smacking people around. We've been smacking them around, taking their lunch money, making sure everybody listens to us. And then this is the problem, because this is how bullies get beat in high school, from what I saw. If you're a bully, that's cool. But if you're the strongest dude in school, you beating up people, you got the best hands, whatever, everybody's scared of you, that's cool. But if there's 4 or 5 people who are not scared of you, if they get together and they decide we're gonna jump this bully and nobody's gonna have to worry about them, oh yes, that's what's coming to you. And that's the problem we're having right now in the US. 4 or 5 countries that are not scared of us, Mexico, Russia, Brazil, they're not scared of the US. They're like, okay, you all fucked us over long enough. We're gonna get together and we're gonna jump your big ass. And we're gonna take back any of the money that was owed to us, basically by moving to a new system. What do you think Bitcoin was? Bitcoin was supposed to be so that everyday man, we're not gonna get taken advantage of in this US system. So we're gonna move to a new one. That's all BRICS is. They're just doing it for, it's Bitcoin for regulators. That's all BRICS is. Bitcoin for regulators, because it's not decentralized. It's not, based off of mining and electricity, but it does move them away from the fiat currency they do not want to use, which is the US dollar. Why? Because with the US dollar comes problems. With the US dollar, you got war. You're gonna have funding for things that may destabilize your country. I mean, we literally fund 3-letter organizations that will come into your country, get your dictator out of there, put in their own patsy, and then run their form of democracy, bring their own private companies to rebuild it, making themselves a lot of money, and then leaving the regular everyday people still poor and still broke. So that's all they're doing. We're getting jumped right now. Right now, hey, we the US, we are in trouble of having our shoes hanging from the international power line right now. The shoes gonna be hanging up there pretty quick if we don't get it going. And it doesn't help that we got a 80-something-year-old dementia patient who can barely talk and walk as our leader. We look weak as fuck, bro. I'm sorry. We look terrible. I don't even care, if our president knew that much about politics at this point. We just look weak. I mean, we got cackling Kamala, and we got good old creepy Joe back there who can't even talk. I mean, or walk. I mean, I wouldn't trust any 85, 90-year-old to run an entire country. I wouldn't get them to run my business, but an entire country? Come on, people. I mean, forget party lines. That's just egregious. We look pretty weak right now, so these other countries are taking advantage. And, we're arguing over dumb stuff. So unfortunately, America is starting to turn into a clown show. But if we figure out with Bitcoin how to create the money we want and how to create a decentralized web through crypto, then we're all good. But let's see, Goodness Uchi, there's an AI CEO right now that's outperforming most companies in China. Not surprised at all. There's going to be AI everything. And I think that AI is the first step towards the blockchain ID. Loco actually, hey, that's crazy. I was just thinking that. Blockchain ID, mark of the beast, chess pieces are being put in place. Oh yeah. I'm not a super religious person, but it is interesting that the mark of the beast shows up in a lot of religious writings. And the mark of the beast will tie you to your, like I said before, your vaccine status, your passport, your carbon credits, your money, all tied to one place. You can't use it based on your social credits. I mean, Black Mirror, again, writers are not that creative. They know what's coming based on the actual consultants. They have consultants from the FBI, from the CIA. They have consultants from everywhere. So that's how they write these stories. Predictive programming, you already know what's coming. So you think it's a fairy tale when it's actually happening. I mean, how many stories of a pandemic have you seen where zombies walking around and they're trying to eat your kids and all this stuff? That's just Hollywood fluff. Technically, we did have a bunch of zombies walking around. They got this recent stab, the backstab. You technically do have zombies walking around right now, and it's just not the ones you see in movies. So the same thing with this dystopian future. It may not be Mad Max, but if it's almost impossible for you to get gas, if it's almost impossible for you to travel, you got 15-minute cities, you can't really leave where you're going. Everything you buy is digital. There's no hard cash or money. And then even if you do have Bitcoin, the ways to get it are next to impossible. Then they just achieved the dystopian future that they keep showing you. So yeah, I wouldn't go as far to say that this particular thing is the mark of the beast. But I will say that it's coming. It's something there. It's right. We're right on the precipice of it. Let's see. Jake Fever, lawyer's gone, surgeon's gone, writer's gone, web designer's gone, just a few AI killing. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the best decisions I made in my life was I signed up for a coding class back in the day when I was like 23. This is like Techstars or something like that. And because of my work schedule, I had to stop. Technically, I could have kept going, but it would have been too much of a strain. But I'm so glad I stopped it and didn't pay all that money. Taught myself how to code well enough that I could, do web development. But if I had paid for that, I would be pissed off right now. Or if I went to college to learn that, I'd be pissed off because I've done some AI code myself, 30 minutes to do what it would take a team of people a couple weeks. I did it myself in 30 minutes, including the time it took me to watch the video on how to do it. Like it literally blows your mind how fast. All you have to know is what types of prompts to put into the code. And there's people with whole threads on prompts that you can use. If you're not a coder right now, I mean, you should be jumping for joy that you can use a basically free service, 20 bucks a month or something, 40 bucks a month, and you can become a professional coder right now. You don't even have to have any background or skills. So yeah, a lot of jobs are going to be gone. It's more of the hands-on stuff, like surgery and all that. That'll take a little bit of time. But when you can have an artificial intelligence robot that can do surgery precisely, quicker and cheaper, surgeons are gone too. I mean, everybody that thought they were safe, it's over for you, buddy. Like I said, a lot of what's happening right now is going to move out a lot of humans. Y'all should have saw it coming when you walked to McDonald's and you saw two big ass machines there where you could order food through. You should have known it was coming when you started going to the store and there was more self checkout than it was actual checkout. You should have known it's coming. That's the frog being boiled. You're being boiled slowly. You're so used to it now, you think it's supposed to be there. I still go to the checkout lines with humans, just so I can be the last of the few people, last of the Mohicans, trying to save your job. But yeah, it's going to be hard to get people to get off of that because they're too used to it now. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's Go Gaming. This is a joke. VPN users really at risk. That is not a joke, sir. VPN users are at risk. Your security, your safety, everything digital that you could basically do is all at risk right now. And it's sort of flying under the radar. The big talk right now is the mass shooting that happened. Definitely not getting into that. That's the big story right now. But nobody's talking about the Restrict Act. Nobody's talking about the JP Morgan case where they funded Epstein. Nobody's talking about some of the real stuff that's happening right now. But here at the Gentlemen of Crypto, you can always be sure we'll bring that information because it all ties in. All of it ties together. This is a very important industry, and it's just going to get more and more important as we go. So let's see, what else we got? Loco TX, well, PFC Wells is just a bill for now, not official law. Yeah, not a law yet, but again, stay on watch because when it is passed, I guarantee you'll see 1 or 2 stories, 24-hour cycle, and then it'll be gone. So you won't even know it's really there until you start to try to access VPNs or you start getting emails from VPN companies. We're sorry, we have to shut down your service because you are a United States citizen. When you start getting them emails, it's already too late. They already did they got the bill through. So Satoshi Slim, this VPN thing got me shook. Real talk, it should. I mean, I've tried to tell people for a while now that most of what's going to happen is going to happen slowly, but it's slow at first and then all at once. Because as you can see, boom, crypto exchanges get hit. Boom, banks get hit. Boom, VPN users vilified. Restrict Act is on the table. The next thing, FedNow. The CBDC is coming in July. It's coming all at once for a reason, people. So you don't even have time to react or plan or do anything about it. It's like, well, it's like, man, again, this is the regular citizen is getting bombarded with so much stuff. And if you just want to go to work and raise your family or go to work and live your life, it's kind of hard to keep up. So last story for the day, Jake Paul endorsed SafeMoon gets hacked after introducing a bug and upgrade. So a public burn function introducing the latest upgrade allegedly allows users to burn tokens from other addresses. Well, this is what happens when you use humans. You should have used AI. That's going to be, I'm telling you, that's going to be something people start saying is like, well, why would you use a team of humans? Just use AI. You would have perfect code with no bugs. That's going to be the new thing. And once companies start being held to that standard, you're going to be an outsider if you don't use AI to some capacity. You may not use complete AI, but if you don't have some sort of AI powered tool or app that cleans up your code so these bugs don't happen, I think your crypto project will be rendered useless. So SafeMoon, a project previously endorsed by celebrities and social influencers, some of you may remember, Jake Paul and Soulja Boy, announced this liquidity pool had been compromised. Without revealing further details about the attack, they confirmed it is undertaking steps to resolve the issue as soon as possible. If you remember, SafeMoon, it's so funny. I was getting questions. The most questions I've gotten about was when Dogecoin pumped, that was due to Elon. And then it was SafeMoon. Well, it probably was Shiba, but then it was SafeMoon. People were saying, well, SafeMoon, I saw Nick Carter, Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty, Jake Paul, Ben Phillips, who they were all talking about SafeMoon. And I kept, every time somebody would ask me that, and I was like, well, what other financial decisions have you taken because Soulja Boy told you? What the fuck are we talking about? Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty, are you serious? Jake Paul, if you make your decisions based off of these people, you deserve whatever happens to you. I understand there's younger people who look up to these celebrities and will do anything they say, but you a grown-ass man, grown-ass woman, and you get financial advice from celebrities, you deserve whatever losses are taken. I do not believe in saving adults. I believe in saving children and helping them out. That's why I do the summer camps. That's why I do the community events. But when it comes to adults, I'm sorry, stupid people have to be punished somehow. And usually losing a lot of money is a good way to do it. So the real life Ponzi schemes, everybody has to pay tuition, my boy. That is what it is. They did it under the pretext of unrealistic profits, because that wasn't gonna happen. The SafeMoon hack shows the attacker made away with 27,000 BNB worth 8.9 million. And actually, in the grand scheme of hacks, not that much of an amount. It's really a drop in the bucket. 9 million isn't a lot. However, if let's say the hacker is some 17-year-old kid that lives in some foreign country, hey man, that's a big come up for him. I mean, and if he has the ability to move it without getting caught, that's even more impressive, because it is becoming a lot harder with companies like Peck Shield and the blockchain analytics company. I forget the name now, but there's a few companies that are on it as far as being able to track down where these assets are going. But there are ways to get around it, and there are some people that have figured it out. So shout out to them. And like I said, I don't like people hacking. I don't like rug pulls. I don't like people being there taking for their money. But these people exist. Just like I don't like robbers and stealers, but some people will kick your door in and try to rob you. So please don't take away my ability to protect myself. And that's why VPNs are very important, which is a great way to wrap up our show for the day. VPNs being important, having that extra layer of security. Also combine that with the knowledge to not get taken for all your money from like SafeMoon and what other bullshit they come up with. I'm sure next will be some other iteration of something Inu, some Doge or Doggy Coin is going to come. All of that stuff is just distractions. If you want to go play in the casino, I'm not going to sit out. I'm not the guy that's going to sit outside the shitcoin casino and tell you not to go in there because it's a bad decision. Because the shitcoin casino is fun, just like the real casino. People are in there having a good time. However, the main thing is you have to know the risk. If you know the risk, hey, more power to you. Go live your life, player. But again, for those of you who didn't see it, this week, first day tomorrow, we're chartering the first trip. Miami NFT Week Super Yacht Experience. Again, it is located across from the Fountain Blue in Miami Beach. If you get your tickets, I have sent out promos to some people. If they promo on their Twitter or their Instagram or whatnot, who may be able to get free, hit me up on the Discord, which you can join below. If you join the Discord and you want you have questions about it, just ask me on there. And again, free drinks. Free food for all ticket holders, access to the minting party April 1st, content creation, free entry into lottery, and free pickup, all included into the ticket for this this trip on a 94-foot super yacht on Miami Beach. It'll be a lot of yachts out there, but none of them will be banging like this. So make sure you get your tickets, hit up any family members you may have that may be interested, and I'll see you there. For everybody else, let's go through these last few things. Zay got strong Scorpio energy like me. He likes helping people help themselves, not just babying people through it all day. I'm not a Scorpio, but I don't know much about signs, so maybe some similarities. I'm an Aries, I think. Yeah, Aries. Yeah, March 27th. So yeah, I've been told that's a fire sign, my moon sign, and I got like 4 or 5 fire signs. I'm just all fire. They're all in a row. I don't know what all that means. A numerologist or astrologist that I use who helps me, but yeah, I guess we may have some joint energy there. Let's see. Let's see who else we got there. Playthrough games. I see that attack on the NFT front too, with Wire being down. Some money is stuck on platforms because users can't get payouts. Oh yeah, and it's just getting going. Dub Proof, blessings, A. Good job today. Appreciate you. Price Cobbs, good show. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's all we have for you today. Make sure you jump onto that Discord. Make sure you